Good evening, students. How are you? I hope you're doing all right. Now, this is the Indian Express analysis, and today we are going to discuss important article from today's newspaper, that is 8th of March. Please let me know if I'm audible or not, so that I can begin the session. I'm taking this session actually from a classroom because of some work that is going around in the studio. Good evening, Lydia, Augustine, Niranjan, Baga, Yashi, every one of you, good evening. Just quickly let me know if I'm audible. Now today's session, if you can see from this particular screen behind me, you'll see that today we are going to discuss 6 important articles. First, we'll be discussing about Ongole cattle. This cattle is in news because earlier this cattle was quite prominent in India, but because of many economic reasons particular, we'll see that the dependence and also the birth of these cattle have reduced dramatically. What are the reasons behind it? What has the government done about it? We'll try to understand everything. Now this article, it becomes important from GS paper 3 perspective, particularly from the perspective of agriculture, because you can understand horticultural activities are also a part of agricultural syllabus. Then we'll be understanding a science and tech related article, but you must be wondering, where is this science and tech related article, right? Now if you can see, we'll be discussing how the cricket ball swings. Now there's actually a physics behind this, how this cricket ball swings. I don't know whether the bowlers in general are aware about the science behind it, but they sure as hell know how to make the ball swing. So you must be wondering how the fast bowlers like Mohammad Shami, Jasprit Bumrah achieve so kind of a precision in their bowling through the use of swing. We'll try to understand the science behind what goes in the making your ball swing. Okay, Bagas Pings, audible and clear. CSE aspirant Anshu, good evening. Kartike, SS Talks, good evening. Gibson Johnny, good evening. Now this article becomes important again from GS paper 3 perspective. As you can understand, science and tech is an important part of GS paper 3 syllabus. Then we'll be moving on to another article dealing with the Astra Mark III missile. This is actually a beyond visual range air-to-air missile. And now this is under the India's armory, the most advanced missile. We'll try to understand the key features of this missile, as this missile was developed by DRDO. Now important military platform, as you can understand, are frequently asked in the prelims examination. So therefore this article becomes important from prelims perspective. So they'll be discussing again from GS paper 3 perspective, that is the matters related to science and tech and also internal security. Okay. Then we'll be understanding key AI initiatives that have been bought by Government of India, particularly with respect to the 1 year has been completed since India bought India AI mission. Now under India AI mission, the government recently brought many different kind of an AI initiative, particularly with respect to its applications in different sectors. For example, in training of the government, in order to provide data to the companies who are developing AI tools, these AI initiatives have been introduced, and this becomes again important from GS paper 3 perspective. So today we have a lot of articles that we are going to discuss from GS paper 3 perspective. Then we'll be moving on to Majuli River Island. This is a riverine island based on the coast of river Brahmaputra, and it is located in Assam. Now if you can recall, the current Minister of Shipping, Mr. Sarbanand Sonowal, who is also the former Chief Minister of Assam, he currently represents the parliamentary constituency of Majuli, right? I don't know people from Assam are watching this or not. If I am pronouncing the name Majuli incorrectly, please let me know in the comments so that I can correct myself. Okay. Now then we'll be understanding commitment to Nari Shakti. Why commitment to Nari Shakti today? Because 8th of March, that is today, is International Women's Day, and that is why we'll see a lot of articles that have been covered in today's newspaper, especially on the issues of women empowerment. How has actually women, despite many efforts, not been empowered in our country, and the measures that we can inculcate in order to make women empowered. So that is why we are going to discuss this article particularly from the perspective of GS paper 1 syllabus and GS paper 2 syllabus. GS paper 1 deals with the issues relating to women, and paper 2 deals with issues relating to weaker section. And you can understand, women in India, they constitute weaker section of our society. So we'll be understanding in detail about these kind of commitments towards Nari Shakti, and also understand various suggestions that have been given in today's article. So these are the articles that we are going to cover today. Now you know the drill. The notes for this session will be available immediately after the session end on my Telegram channel called as ATS Live. So you have an option to enter the keywords ATS Live on the top right hand corner of your mobile app when there is a magnifying glass. And also, if you're still unable to find the channel, you can scan this QR code. It will take you directly to my channel. Now, today I will be uploading an important reel on my Instagram handle, that is ANKTSNGH. If I remember to do that today, I'll be uploading it late in the evening. It also relates to the International Women's Day. So please make sure to subscribe or follow my Instagram handle, and I'll upload that reel there itself. Okay. Now, before moving forward with our today's discussion, let us first of all understand the question that I gave you yesterday as a homework. Post-quantum cryptography recently in the news refers to which of the following? Please let me know the answer quickly so that I can move on. I'm waiting for who answers the question correctly first. Good evening, Ashil. Good evening, Ayush. Good evening, Pawan, Kaizen. Good evening, everyone. Answer to this question. Arya, good evening. अच्छा अच्छा. Well, Ayush says A, Niranjan says B, Sarang says A. Everyone else, where are you? Please let me know the correct answer quickly. You don't revise to yesterday's session, right? It appears so. एक ने आंसर डिलीट भी कर लिया. Well, the correct answer to this question is option C. It is a cryptographic approach designed to secure communication against attacks from quantum computers. If you remember our session, I told you, right? Quantum computers, these are more powerful computers in general as compared to the traditional computers. And as these computers are more powerful, so therefore they are able to solve mathematical equations quite quickly, and therefore many cryptographic tendencies or techniques, they are based on mathematical calculations. So technically the existing cryptographic techniques, they won't be able to protect us against the onslaught of quantum computing. So for that, what we require are advanced kind of a cryptographic technique known as post-quantum cryptography. So it is a defensive method which will protect our computer systems and communication system from quantum computers. That is why option C is right. Baga Spinks, option C is correct. Niranjan, yes. Gibson, yes. Lydia, yes. Option C is right. Ayush, please take a look. Option C is correct. Now, this is the practice question that we'll try to solve today. But before that question, let us understand the important aspects of the women. And that aspect will be taken up in our today's session. So, if you can look at this question, it is a straightforward question that states, despite numerous laws and policies, women in India continue to face multiple forms of discrimination. So this sets the tone of the question, that it says that you have to highlight what are the reasons why women still face discrimination in the country, and you have to critically examine the factors contributing to this issue and suggest measures for the improvement. And this is a 15 marker question, so therefore you have to write your answer in 250 words. Okay. But before that, let us get away with our today's article first, then we'll be writing that answer, okay? Now, this first article appeared in the very front page of the Indian Express newspaper, states that the world's costliest cow, which is the Ongol cattle, it is booming in Brazil, but their numbers are dwindling in India. Dwindling means reducing. Now, what are the reasons behind this reduction in the number of this cattle? We'll try to find out in our today's discussion. Now, recently, a purebred Ongol calf was born at the livestock research station located in Guntur of Andhra Pradesh through the artificial insemination technology known as IVF, embryo transfer technology. So why does actually you need an artificial insemination technology to produce or reproduce a calf which is so famous in the world? There must be some reason why their demand in India particularly has reduced, whereas their demand is skyrocketing in countries like Brazil. So let us try to understand what are the reasons. Now first, let us try to understand what these cattle are all about. Now these are native to the coastal plains of Andhra Pradesh, that is particularly the districts of Guntur, Prakasam as well as Nellore. Now these districts and this particular calf, it is known for their large size, muscular build and prominent hump. Now also they are known for their heat tolerance, disease resistance as well as having strength and endurance and survival for low fodder. So therefore these kind of cattle, you must be assuming they are very good for India. They are immune to diseases, not immune per se, but more resistant to diseases. They are tolerant of heat, they can survive even on low fodder, and they are also large in size and muscular in build. So what is the reason actually their demand in India is reducing? Now historically they were used as a draught animals for ploughing and transportation. But now, as you can understand, the agriculture is more moving towards mechanization, where instead of using cows as well as oxes, people are relying on tractors to do their agricultural work. So one of the reason is that high levels of mechanization has reduced the demand for cattle for undertaking drought work. So this is one of the reasons why this cattle and its demand is reducing in India. But there are other important economic reasons also. Let us try to find that. Now first is there is a shift in dairy preferences in India. You can understand India is a growing country and most of the population, if not most, but a dominant section of our population is a vegetarian population, and therefore they depend quite heavily on milk and milk products to secure their protein related needs. Also farmers, they depend on these animals to provide them with income security, right? What if farmers and their crops go bad in a particular year, but they still can get some amount of money if they sell the milk that is produced by the cows that are owned by them. So this is an economic rationale for farmers to keep the cows. But as you can understand, the demand for milk is increasing day by day, not just to consume milk, but people are also using milk for its milk products like paneer, cheese, etc. They are in huge demand. Okay, so for that you need cows who give higher amount of milk per cow, and for that exotic breed of animals, particularly cows such as Jersey cows, Holstein and Friesian cows, they yield as much as 25 to 30 liters of milk every day. On the other hand, Ongol cows, they only yield about 4 to 6 liters every day. So you can compare the difference between these two cows, that there is about 6 times the difference between these two cows. So as a farmer, which kind of a cow you will have? Will you have an exotic cow or will you have an Ongol cow? Naturally, you will have an exotic cow because it yields higher amount of milk every day as compared to Ongol cow, and therefore shift in dairy preferences and demand, increasing demand for milk has perpetuated this shift towards exotic breeds and away from Ongol cows. Another factor is that I've already told you is the increase in mechanization of agriculture, where demand for tractors and machineries are increasing. On the other hand, demand for cows and draught animals, these are reducing to undertake farm related work. So this is also another factor. The third factor is government policies and export ban. Now you can understand, until the 1960s, Ongol cattle, they were exported to many countries. Most prominent of them was Brazil. Now India banned the export of these cattle primarily based on the concerns that these countries were using the cows to undertake meat trade, which philosophically goes against the very tenets of the Indian Constitution, because in one of the DPSP provisions you will see that the state should make every effort to prevent the use of cow for its meat, right? So that is why government has undertaken the ban on their export, and therefore the demand for these cows in general have reduced because they can't be exported. Now Brazil continued to breed and improve the Ongol cattle while India restricted its further global demand. So as a result, Brazil, where these cows are utilized for meat, their demand is high, whereas in India their demand have reduced primarily because of these two factors, and now you aren't even able to export them. Now another factors that have contributed to reduction in their demand is reduction in pure breeding programs. Now in India, Ongol cattle, they were selectively bred for strength, that is for draught purposes and not for milk productivity. As I told you, right, their milk productivity is only about 4 to 6 liters every day. On the other hand, exotic animals, they yield about 25 to 30 liters. So as a farmer, you will rely on exotic breeds, right? Whereas over time, genetic purity has declined because of their crossbreeding with other local breeds or in order to increase the milk productivity. So overall, the demand for Ongole cattle has reduced. So you can see even from this stat that the population of Ongole cattle in 1994, it was about 15 lakhs. Now in 2019's latest survey that was conducted, it was about less than even half of this number, that is 6.34 lakhs in number. So therefore, the overall demand of this cattle has reduced. Understood? Now let us understand what has Brazil done about this cattle and how it has transformed the demand for this cattle. Now in 1885, first Ongole cattle, it was exported to Brazil, and therefore 7,000 cows actually were exported up till the export ban in the 1960s. Now Brazil breeders, they focused on improving the size, meat quality and climate adaptability of these cows by undertaking crossbreeding, and as a result the Brazil Ongole cattle have become bigger, heavier and more muscular than India's original Ongole cattle. Now if you can understand the total number of Ongole cattle in Brazil, it has about 80% of Brazil's total livestock and cattle population. So this is how Brazil has tried to improve this breed in order to satisfy its own domestic demand and also its export demand, whereas India, in terms of preference of this cattle, it has reduced significantly. Now Brazil is now world's largest beef exporter, supplying beef to countries like China, Middle East, Europe, USA. Therefore, particularly for economic purposes, that is for meat related exports, these cattle, these are in high demand in countries like Brazil. Understood everything about it? Good evening, Achal. Okay. Now let us move to next article. This article is very interesting. This article actually tells us about how the cricket ball swings. Now you understand the difference between spinning of the ball and swinging of the ball, right? I want to understand this clearly. Please let me know in the comments if you understand the difference between spinning of ball and swinging of the ball. Now spinning of the ball, what spinners like Ravindra Jadeja, Akshar Patel, Kuldeep Yadav or even the Varun Chakravarti does is that they spin the ball, that once ball strikes the ground, it spins into one of the two directions. So this is spinning of the ball. But what fast bowlers do is that they swing the ball, that even when ball is in the air, it changes the lateral direction. So this is how swinging of the ball is different than spinning of the ball. But why are we discussing swinging of the ball, which is a sports related term in UPSC related discussion? Because there is actually physics involved behind this swinging of the ball. So let us try to understand how this swinging of the ball takes place. But let us understand why this is news, particularly in a paper like Indian Express newspaper on the explain section. This is because Indian fast bowler Mohammad Shami, he has appealed to ICC to reconsider the ban that ICC imposed earlier on to prevent the use of saliva to be rubbed on cricket balls. Now fast bowlers, they use saliva to shine a part of fast ball, which actually helps them to swing the ball. Now, during the COVID-19 pandemic and its related precautions, the ICC banned the use of saliva on the cricket ball, and therefore Indian fast bowler has appealed to reverse this ban now because the COVID has subsided. So in this regard, let us understand what is the swinging of the ball. Now it is the lateral movement of the cricket ball while it is in air, even before it strikes the pitch of the ground, right? Now this occurs actually due to the differences in air pressure that happens when the air is flowing across the ball, right? So this creates a difference in air pressure, and because of that, ball moves either to left or to right laterally while it is in the air. So this is the original intention behind the swinging of the ball. Suppose this is the cricket ball and this is the seam of the ball, okay? So suppose what fast bowlers do is that they try to damage one of the sides of the ball while maintaining the shine on the other side of the ball. So when air is flowing across these two areas, you can understand while flowing through the shiny surfaces, this velocity or the speed of the air will be higher. Understood? Because the air is flowing through the shiny side. While on the other hand, on this rough side, whenever the air is flowing, its speed will be less. Understood? So what happens in this time when the speed is high, the pressure will be lower. On the other hand, on this side, the pressure will be higher. So this is the difference of how there is a difference in pressure on both of the sides because one side is rough and another side is smooth. And because of this differences in pressure, the air wouldn't reach here as fast as it would reach here, and this will help the ball tilt in one direction. So this is basically what swing is all about. So you can see from this image, whenever the ball strikes the shinier side of the land, there is what is called as laminar flow, and in this laminar flow, the speed of the air is high, whereas the pressure becomes lower. On the other hand, this rough side, here the speed reduces naturally because of the resistance the air faces on this rough side, and therefore there is an increase in pressure in this region. Now, with respect to science, please understand, air or anything, it moves towards the area where there is a low pressure. So naturally the ball swings in the direction of the shinier surface, and this is how swing is done away with, right? So how does actually a cricket ball swing? When a bowler releases the ball, thin air of layer, it engulfs around the surfaces of the ball. Now you can understand, when there is a shinier surface on the ball, the air would move faster, whereas on the rough surface, the air would move slower. So technically, to reach the end side of the ball, the air which is flowing from the rough surface, it will reach to this point at a much delayed time as compared to this point where it is flowing from the shinier surface, and therefore this is what results into the swing of the ball. Now bowlers, they tilt their seam in one direction to disturb the airflow, and as the smoother side has laminar flow, meaning the air in the smoother side, it travels faster, whereas on the rough side the air moves slower. And according to Bernoulli's principle, which is a principle related to fluid mechanics in mechanical engineering, faster airflow on one side reduces pressure, causing the ball to swing in that direction. Understood this point? You have any doubt? Please let me know. Yes, Pavan, swing king, Bhuvi, Shami, yes. Understood the difference? Any doubt you have on how the ball swings in cricket? No, right? I told you, right? There's a physics behind it. Now, why is actually saliva important for swinging of the ball? Cricketers, they have traditionally used saliva to shine one side of the ball, but after saliva was banned, the only thing that could rub on the ball was their sweat. However, earlier they used to rub chewing gums and its jelly on the ball, but it was prohibited by ICC. Now, as a result, the benefits of saliva is many things, that it smoothens one side, which increases the swing contrast. The more the shine one part of the ball is and more the rough the other part of is, the more will be the swing in the ball. And it adds slight weight to the shiny side also, which adds to the reverse swing, which happens much later on when the ball becomes older. And the sugary saliva which comes from mints or candy, it becomes heavier and more effective. However, this has been banned currently. So understood everything about swinging of the ball? Sir, what's the difference between spin and swing? Well, spin is when ball strikes the surface and changes the direction, just because you have changed you have given the ball a turn, right? So as soon as you give any surface a turn, when it strikes the ground, it will move into one direction. But swing is when you throw the ball and even in the air, it changes the direction. That is called as swing. Understood Baga swings now? So everything is physics relating to the ball swinging. Now let us move to the third article. Third article is about this new missile that the DRDO has tested, which is the India's most advanced air-to-air missile. This is known as Astra Mark III missile. Now, government has actually given this particular missile a name, that is Gandiv. Gandiv actually in Mahabharata was the name of the bow and arrow of the Arjun, the main warrior of Mahabharata. Now, India's latest and most advanced air-to-air missile, that is Astra Mark III missile, has been officially given the name as Gandiv missile. Understood? Now, let us understand some details about Astra 3 missile. This is actually the most advanced BVR missile. BVR missile is actually those missile that even when the pilot can't see the target, he or she can hit that target with the use of these beyond visual range missiles. So whenever a missile is categorized as a beyond visual range missile, you can automatically deduce that it travels much farther distance as compared to the normal air-to-air missile. Now, this is currently under development and it is being developed by the Defense Research and Development Organization, and this missile will be deployed on the Indian Air Force's main fighter aircraft, that is Sukhoi 30 MKI, as well as LCA Tejas aircraft. Now, why not Rafale aircraft? Because on Rafale aircraft, there's already a very advanced French air-to-air BVR missile, right? So you did not integrate Indian missiles onto Rafale right now, whereas you need to integrate them on the existing platforms of the Sukhoi 30 MKI as well as LCA Tejas. Right. Now, there are many features which makes this missile quite a special missile. First of all is that its ability to hit long range targets. For example, this missile has the ability to strike target which is as far as 340 kilometers at a 20 kilometer altitude, whereas at a lower altitude it can even hit targets at 190 kilometers. So this is quite a huge range which this missile has. The most advanced missile that is there with the Pakistani Air Force, it can hit targets at least at about 100 to 120 kilometers. Now compare that with our missile. Now this missile also has an advanced propulsion system which uses dual pulse solid fuel ducted ramjet engine, and it extends the range of this missile while providing it with the additional speed. Also, it has high speed and maneuverability, which enables it to target engagement speed at about 2 to 3.6 Mach. 1 Mach is actually the speed of the sound. So 2 Mach is actually twice the speed of the sound. Now it engages highly maneuverable aircrafts with 20-degree angle of attack. Whereas in terms of its features, it has active radar seeker which will enable it to precisely target or oncoming aircrafts, and also it has electronically countermeasures which helps it to resist jamming instances by the other aircrafts. So that is why in terms of feature and capability, this missile is quite capable. Now let us see whether you are able to solve this question. With reference to Astra 3 missile, consider the following statement. I am waiting for your answers in the comment section. Spin happens when the ball touches the ground and swing when the ball is in air. Yes, Ayush, you are correct. Now quickly answer the correct answers in the comment section. I am waiting for your answers. I'll get away from your so that you can see the questions clearly. आंसर जल्दी जल्दी दो. Sarang says option B. Anyone else? Sarang is quite quick in his answer. I like that about him. Bhaga Springs, Ayush, Lydia, what happened to you guys? Anchal, Niranjan, Gibson. Pawan says option B. Anyone else? Gibson says B. Well, let us solve it. Astra Mark III, developed by DRDO, is India's most advanced BVR missile capable of engaging targets at a maximum range of 340. This is a straightforward statement, therefore a correct statement. What about the second statement? It features a scramjet propulsion system enabling it to maintain high speed and maneuverability during mid-course flight. Is it scramjet propulsion system? It is a ramjet, which is a technology below scramjet. Scramjet propulsion system are used in advanced missiles like hypersonic missiles, not in air-to-air missiles. Okay, so second statement becomes incorrect. And the third statement, the missile is planned for integration with IAF's Sukhoi 30 MKI and the Rafale aircraft. What did I tell you about Rafale aircraft? It is already having a very advanced French air-to-air missile, which is also a BVR missile. So currently there are no plans to integrate the Astra 3 missile with the Rafale missile. The plans is to integrate it with Sukhoi as well as LCA Tejas. So third statement also becomes incorrect. Now we have to identify correct statement. Option A is the right answer. On the move, sir, watching you on the phone. Okay, Bhaga Springs. Now, as I tell you every day, right? Suppose if you have problems in understanding very key components or very key part of the UPSC syllabus, suppose I take up article from the polity section, right? But due to paucity of time, because of this session, I have to complete it in an hour. I'm not able to tell you each and every minute detail about the topic. But you have an option to get everything clear by attending the Sampoorn classes, which is basically a foundation level classes, which is available to all the students who have enrolled to this particular class. You will not just be provided with the classroom help in form of teachers and lectures in the class, but you will also be given the 18 booklets which will help you do away with the need of necessary study material. Also, during your classes or whenever you are preparing, if you have any doubts, you will be having an option to contact your dedicated mentor who will be available 24/7 to help you regarding your doubts. And it can be anything. It can be study related doubt. It can be also a non-academic doubt. Also, you can test your understanding by solving the PTS, that is prelims test series and mains test series, which will help you do away or get away with the fear of exam relating setting. So these kind of benefits are available in the Sampoorn courses. Now to access Sampoorn courses, what you have to do is you have to go to our website, that is StudyIQ.com. Click on Explore Courses here. Click on Explore Courses, and you can see as soon as you click on Explore Courses, there are many different courses which are available. Now suppose you are not that comfortable in Hindi, or what if Hindi is not your mother tongue? So there is also an option you can register for UPSC IAS English courses that are available exclusively in English. Now click on the batch right now which is available for 2026, and the prices for this batch is expected to increase by 15th of March. So if you register for this course before 15th of March, you will get this course at 37,499 rupees. But what if I tell you, using the code that must be flashing on the bottom half of your screen, you can get further discounts on this course, right? So click on buy now here. You will be given an option to add promo code. Click promo code and you can add coupon code called as ATS live here. Okay, click on apply. And you can see the value of the course from 37,499, it has reduced to just 29,999, which is a discount of about 7,500 rupees. And I understand 7,500 rupees is a huge amount of money. So please use codes such as ATS Live to get maximum discounts on your courses. And why am I telling you this? Because I understand the importance of money and also the understand of using the money judiciously, right? Now, let us move to the different article. This article appeared actually on the PIB newspaper, and if you can see from the screenshot, it states that the Ministry of IT, it has launched many initiatives to further the AI innovation in India. What are these initiatives? Do not need to worry. I'll be telling you in our today's discussion. Now, first of all, let us understand the context of our today's discussion. And on the anniversary of India AI mission, the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, it has launched many key AI initiatives. So what are these key AI initiatives? Let us try to find out in our today's discussion. Now, first initiative is known as AI Kosh. Now, what is this AI Kosh? AI Kosh is designed as a data sharing platforms which provides data sets for AI model development. Now, you understand, to train AI models, you require large amount of data. And the problem that many companies who are developing AI tools face is that where to source these data from, right? So, for that, the government knows this problem and it is intending to provide these data to the private sector companies or any entity which is undertaking research in AI. So this is what is AI Kosh is all about. Now, what kind of data this AI Kosh will have? It will have non-personal data. As you can understand, personal data has many privacy related issue. So therefore, you have to make data available, but this data has to be a non-personal data. And it will be offered in more than 300 data sets with 80 plus model and diverse use case of AI. For that, it can be used by startups, colleges, and even researchers to develop AI tools. And the aim under this mission is to enhance India's capabilities in language translation tools and also other AI related application, as all of these application and AI related tool requires large amount of data. And it also features an AI sandbox, which is an integrated development environment. And in this sandbox, the users or the developers of AI tool, they can test their tool without having the widespread impact. So these are the benefits of AI Kosh. Kosh in Hindi, it means a repository. Understood? So this is actually a repository of non-personal data by the government, which will be offered to many companies. Now, moving to the next initiative by this government, it is known as AI Compute Portal. Now, it is a centralized platform which provides affordable AI compute, network storage platform and cloud services to startups and academia, and it initially offers access to about 10,000 GPUs. Now, I told you, right, in AI India AI mission, one of the intention of the government is to develop a AI computing level, that is by sourcing as much as 10,000 graphic processing units. Now these graphic processing units, these are key processing units which are used in AI related tools, right? But sourcing of these GPUs are quite tough for startups. Rather, what government is doing, that they are sourcing it for themselves and they are providing it at a much subsidized cost to Indian startups. Also, there is a provision under this initiative that it can provide 8,693 GPUs more if there is an increased demand in the subsequent phases. So this actually intends to provide the computing related infrastructure to the Indian startups and any company which is looking to develop AI related tools. AI complementary framework for public sector officials. It is a structured framework which intends to use AI to upskill or to increase the skilling levels of the government officials. Now it will equip policymakers with AI related knowledge to make informed decisions. So this is how the use of these AI can be used in even in the government sector or in the public sector industries. Also, to train government sector officials, these iGot AI tool has been offered, which is a AI-driven content recommendation system integrated with the government training program known as Karmi Yogi platform. Now, what it does is that it enhances the learning experiences of the public officials and it offers increased personalized AI training modules to the government offices, right? Also, it has AI Startup Global Acceleration Program, which is a collaborative program with a French company known as Station F and HEC Paris, which is a college in Paris. Now, in this program, 10 Indian AI startups will participate in a 4-month acceleration program, in which 1 month program will be online and it will be followed by 3 months online on-site visit to Paris, and it will be the world's largest startup campus in Paris. Now, the benefits of these kind of initiative is that Indian startups can be mentored by experts in Paris. It will help them network and grow their overall businesses, and it will also help them expand to global markets, particularly in the European markets. Understood? Any doubt regarding this AI tool? I hope not. Rachpal, hello. Jeet Thakur, sorry for being late. No problem. Make sure to watch this session entirely after this ends. Now let me know the correct answer to this question. Quickly. Now, with reference to India AI initiative, consider the following statements. AI course serves as a central repository that provides data sets, AI models and use cases, mainly focusing on personal data for AI development. Is the first statement correct? Batao. The new joinees, Gibson, Rajpal. Second statement, India AI Compute Portal aims to provide affordable AI computational resources, initially providing access to 10,000 GPUs with plans to expand further. The third statement, India AI Startup Global Acceleration Programs supports selected Indian AI startups in expanding into American markets. Please let me know the correct answer quickly. Lydia, Pawan, Rajpal, Gibson, FTY is Ayush, Sarang. Now, first statement is incorrect. Why is it incorrect? Because it does not provide personal data. It provides what? Non-personal data. I told you, right? Personal data has privacy related issue and you can't provide these kind of data to AI tools. Otherwise, it will become quite sentient. Second statement is quite straightforward and a correct statement, as it initially will provide access to 10,000 GPUs which plans to expand further. And the third statement, it does not help expand in American markets, rather European markets. So third statement becomes incorrect. And if you read the question, which of the following statement given above are incorrect? So we have to identify what? Incorrect statement. And incorrect statement are 1 and 3. Option C is the right answer. Ashil, you got the answer right. Baga Spinks, C. Lydia, C. Yes, all of you are correct. Now let us move to this another article. I actually found this article on a website related to Northeast, right? But the purpose of this discussion is to make you aware of the geography of Majuli Island, right? So the context of this article is that there is an increasingly human-animal conflict which is going on in the river island of Majuli, and here it is endangering the livelihoods of the local farming community. Now, if you look at this map of Majuli Island, it is located in between the Brahmaputra river, very close to the Jorhat district of Assam, that is on the coast of Subansiri river. Subansiri river is a tributary of Brahmaputra, right? Now, this is the exact map of where Majuli is located in the northeastern part of the country. You can see it is located in Assam, in the very close confines of Assam. Let me change the pen color, right? It is located here. That is the island of Majuli, and it is surrounded by the waters of Brahmaputra river. Now, let us understand some of the details about the Majuli river, correct? Now, Majuli river, it is world's largest riverine island located on the banks of Brahmaputra river in Assam. It was declared as a district in 2006, making it India's first island district. Now, it is rich in wetland, forest and diverse wildlife, so therefore it becomes important even from environmental point of view. Now, this kind of an island, it is formed due to course changes by the river Brahmaputra and its tributary, mainly the river Lohit, which is also a tributary of Brahmaputra. Now, this island, it is also famous for cultural aspects, that is, it is home to Vaishnavite monasteries, that is known as Satras, and it was founded by the Srimant Sankardev back in the 15th century. Understood the key aspects? I told you the geographical aspect, I told you the polity related aspect, and I also told you the cultural aspect of this riverine island. And if you still have the doubt, this is the location of the Majuli river island, which is in the northeastern part of the country, particularly in the state of Assam. Understood? Now, if you have understood, please let me know the correct answer quite quickly. Yes, SS Talks, you were correct. Pawan, yes, 1 and 3. Now, consider the following statements regarding Majuli Island. Majuli Island formed due to dynamic hydrological changes of the Brahmaputra and its tributaries was officially designated as India's first island district. Now, when these kind of statements, they actually appear in the prelims examination, the first inclination of the student who is under a tremendous amount of pressure is to mark such absolute statement as an incorrect statement. But if you are fresh from our today's discussions, you will be safely able to say that it was indeed India's first riverine island district, therefore first statement becomes correct. The second statement, the island is renowned for its centuries-old Shivaite monastery institutions, which played a crucial role in the propagation of Bhakti movement in the eastern India under the leadership of Srimant Sankardev. Is the second statement correct? Quickly, let me know the correct answer. Is second statement correct or not? बताओ जल्दी जल्दी. Saujanya says 1 only. Why isn't second correct? Anyone? Pawan, no, yes, nahi. Reason batao. Why second correct, Gibson? Tell me the reason, then only I'll leave you guys. Well, बहुत time लगाते हो तुम लोग. Well, the reason is actually this is a Vaishnavite monastery, not a Shivite monastery. Okay. So therefore, second statement becomes incorrect. First is right. Option A, therefore, is the correct answer to this question. Yes, Pawan. Yes, SS. This is a Vaishnavite monastery. Now moving to the last article of the day. This article actually belongs to the Women's Day celebration, which you can see was on the very first page of the Indian Express newspaper, and also there's an article written by the UP governor and a leader by BJP. Now, I usually don't take articles which are written by politicians in general because these are filled with political rhetoric and nothing actually which is useful for our exams. But today is an exception. Why is today an exception? Because it is International Women's Day. So I'll actually like to wish every woman who is watching this and also men a very happy Women's Day, right? Now, having said all of that, let us try to understand many details about the Women's Day. Now, it is celebrated around the world on 8th of March every year, which is today. Now, in this regard, let us understand some of the framework that is given in India's laws, constitution and other important legislation which intends to promote gender equality in India. First, gender equality is promoted nothing rather than in the preamble of the Indian Constitution, which provides for equality and justice to all the Indian citizens. And in all the Indian citizens, you also mean women of the country. Also, when you take a look at fundamental rights, which is given in the Part 3 of the Indian Constitution, Article 14 says equality before law and equal protection of law, which is applicable to all irrespective of their gender. Whereas, if you look at Article 15, it prohibits discrimination based on 5 different criteria, that is religion, race, caste, sex, as well as place of birth. So, therefore, it prohibits discrimination on the basis of a sex of a person, which also prohibits discrimination against any kind of a section of a population. Also, if you look at fundamental duties, particularly Article 51A, subsection E, in this you will realize that it states that, give me a minute. Sorry for this interruption. Now, what I was telling, in 51 subsection E of the fundamental duties, it states that the population of India, they should make every effort in order to eradicate the practices that go against the women equality, right? So, therefore, you have to inculcate and encourage every practice that encourages women equality according to Article 51 E of the Indian Constitution. Now look at what the directive principles of state policy has to say about it. Now, from your polity class, you must have understood that although directive principles of state policy, they do not have a legal enforcement or a legal weightage, but it actually provides you with the intention or what the direction should state policies take in order to promote any kind of social as well as economic welfare of India. Now, in that regard, Article 39 provides that there should be equal pay for equal work both for men and women, whereas Article 42, it mandates the state to encourage practices such as to promote women participation in workforce and also ensure their welfare in general. So, these are the various legislations and the sections of Indian Constitution which provides for equality among women in India in general. Understood? Now, despite such lengthy provisions in the Constitution, you understand the state of women in India is not as good as we would have wanted. There have been many instances where women's position in society, in economy, and even in polity has improved, but it has not become equal to that of men. So, there are many reasons for that. So, let us try to understand what are these reasons. Okay. Now, first of all, India provides for a framework for gender equality, and India has signed these many international conventions which provides so that India takes every effort in order for women empowerment. So please take a screenshot of this screen and please remember these declarations once I upload the notes. Okay. Now in this regard, let us now understand what are the challenges that is faced by women in India even today. First is the gender disparities in education. Now, even though there are many schemes by the government such as Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan and even schemes that are directed to encourage participation of women in the education sector, even today you will feel that there is a 17.2% difference when it comes to the literacy figures of both men and women in India. Further, even women, they are increasingly participating in the economic processes, that they are going to the offices, but even when they are in the offices, they face many kind of inequality. These can be anything such as gender bias, which is a very negative mentality of people getting unequal pay, despite there are many laws for providing equal pay, but we see many women, especially who are working in the unorganized sector, they are getting unequal pay as compared to similar work that are done by the men. Also, because of many factors, we see that their career growth is not equal to men, followed by men face many kind of workplace harassment such as sexual harassment, and this you can understand it inhibits or it makes women afraid to visit their workplaces. Also, we have seen in recent times there are increasingly instances of violence against women. Many women, they are subjected to violence by their family members, particularly husbands, and also these kind of violences when it happens against working women, like we saw that happened in Kolkata, it shakes the entire societal fabric in general. Also, there are instances of child marriage and dowry system even happening today, and there was a study that between 1996 to 2009, 95% of the marriages that happened in rural area, it involved the giving and taking of dowry. So you can understand, even when law actually prohibits child marriages, it actually criminalizes taking of dowry. Still, even today, the dowry system is much prevalent in the countries like India. Now, let us understand many more challenges. First of all, there are healthcare related disparities that there was a study in the economic survey that says, or that talked about son meta preference. What is son meta preference? That there will be brothers and sisters in a family, but the parents, they invariably take care more of the son in the family. They provide them with better food, they provide them with better education, they provide them with the healthcare related facilities as compared to their own sisters. So therefore we see that there will be many healthcare related disparities which will continue to exist in the society. Also, you must have heard that by 106th amendment of the Indian Constitution, Indian government enacted reservation for women in not just the legislative assemblies of the state but also in the Parliament of India. Now, this reservation provided for at least 33% of seats to be reserved for women. And why was there need for reservation of seats for women in the politics in legislature of our country? Because overall in politics, the women, they are underrepresented. That in terms of India's population, women constitute roughly 50% of the population, but when it comes to political participation in the 18th Lok Sabha, which is ongoing right now, only 14% of MPs are women. So therefore they constitute 50% of total votes, but in terms of participation, it's just 14%. So this highlights that they are underrepresented politically. Now, about cyber security concerns, who are the most common victims of the cyber security related incidents? Women. And according to an NCRB study, about 4.5 lakh cases were filed in Indian police thanas, particularly that dealt with the cyber criminal instances that happened against women. Also, even today, despite many awareness programs, there still exists menstrual taboo and lack of hygiene facilities that are available to men, particularly with women who are working in a workplace. That workplace will not have a separate women's toilet, that will not have facilities for women to take care of themselves, for their children, and because of this, their overall social participation, it reduces. So these are the set of challenges that is besetting the Indian women in general. Now, what is the way forward? How can we actually improve the situation of women in our workforce or even in our society? For that, we need to first of all promote inclusive education, and by inclusive education I mean implementing policy that ensures equal access to quality education for girls, and not just equal access to girls, but it also will address the cultural norms and financial constraint that actually prohibits these women to undertake their education related activities. Also, we need to foster an inclusive workplaces, that we need not just ensure equal pay to women, but we also need to ensure that the workplace is a much better place for them. They are not subjected to harassment, they are not subjected to bias, they are not subjected to any kind of discrimination. Also, we need to strengthen the measures against violence. Particularly, we have to enforce the laws that prevent domestic violence, that actually punishes the criminals also who are undertaking the violences. Or for that, there are many examples. For example, she teams in Telangana, Gulabi gangs in UP, they are actually undertaking the roles of increasing the awareness or even to extend the protection to the women who are subjected to violence, both in the society or even in their households. Also, there is a need to eradicate harmful practices like child marriages and dowry, and for that we need to take a societal approach. We need to undertake community engagement, we need to undertake developmental and education programs which will help us change the overall societal outlook in general. For that, there is an important example. Mera Paibi movement of Manipur is an ideal way forward. Also, we need to increase the women's political representation. For that, I told you, right, 106th Constitutional Amendment Act is an important development, but not just that, even the role models like the current CM of Delhi, Miss Rekha Gupta, the current CM of West Bengal, Miss Mamta Banerjee, and also important historical and important political leaders in the country like Miss Mayawati, the now deceased Jayalalitha, Vasundhara Raje, Mufti in Jammu and Kashmir, these are the ideal examples. Also, we need to address the healthcare disparities that exist among women. We need to improve their access to healthcare facility. We need to develop the primary healthcare centers in the village, who are the first point of contact for these women in general. So these are the overall steps over on a general discussion on how we need to improve the situation of women in our Indian society. Understood? Now, this is the question that you have to write for today. Please make sure to submit your answers by 8 p.m. today. I will be evaluating those, and you can submit your answers on this particular group, that is ATS Live, and you can scan the QR code if you still haven't found the channel. So this was all from my side for today. I'll see you again on Monday. Tomorrow is a holiday, that is Sunday. Please make sure to use your Sunday productively by revising the ongoing session, and also please join me again on Monday at 4 p.m. So until then, please allow me to end this session.